Hey guys, it's Di, and I have kind of a different video for you guys today. I thought that this was a fun one to think about it, and I just wanted to pose the question and see what comments you guys had about it as well. I've been thinking about this recently since I'm moving, and I think this is something that kind of gets stirs up whenever you're moving and you're kind of seeing your collection all in one place, or you're thinking about transporting it from point A to point B and that sort of thing. But I've really been thinking about the best investments I've made collection-wise versus maybe not quite the best investments or the most worthy items to be purchased in my collection. Now normally I always get rid of items that do not work for me. So if I know that I'm not going to use it again, or if it really just didn't fit my lifestyle or the style didn't work out for me, I normally sell those things and send them off to a new home, and that works really well. Occasionally, like a few items I will show you, for whatever reason I made the decision, even if it doesn't get used the most often, or for sentimental reasons or whatever the reasons might be, sometimes I do hang on to things that are more collection type of pieces that don't get used as often or maybe weren't the best investments. So hopefully I'm explaining this right. But real quick, before I get too far into the video, I did have a viewer request that she wanted to see what the Henry Bindle Uptown necklace looked like, and so I'm wearing it today. It was also on my last outfit of the day that was uploaded a few videos back. So this is the silver necklace, and I'm also wearing the bracelet right now. So if you have been looking at those, I know I talk about them a lot. It is doubled up, so you can wear it like just a single necklace as well, and it's really long. It'd look really cute with dresses or other necklaces, but I talk about it a lot, and so that viewer wanted to see that, so I am wearing that today. Anyway, back to the question at hand. So, the best investments I've made collection-wise versus the worst, or probably not the best. We'll put it that way. And I think that right off the top, investment-wise to me, for handbags really means that it was worth the money put into it. It had some value to it. It gets used a practical amount of time, and it's something that I really enjoy using. So all around, it's just a good fit for me. So first thing, I would say one of the best things that I have purchased, and this isn't just a favorites, because I've talked about my favorites before, but you'll notice some of these things aren't exactly my favorites. These are just literally the items that I think were the best purchases, even if they aren't necessarily my favorites. So hopefully other people think about things in these terms too. This item does happen to be a favorite and piece that I think has been one of the best investments that I've made. I would highly suggest, if you're looking at Louboutin wallets, to really consider them. I think that they are worth the money, and they hold up really well. I used this wallet for pretty much 4 years, and I still think that it looks really good, pretty darn good, if not, like new. It has some areas of chipping and things like that. But this is my Sarah wallet in Vernis. This is the violet color, and I love the color purple. It's one of my favorite colors, in case you can't tell. And so I think that this has been one of the best investments for my handbag collection, and just an all-around great purchase. It also happens to be one of my favorites, which plays into it a little bit, but I think all around I definitely got the most bang for my buck out of this item. And I would say that if you're intrigued by Louboutin wallets, you probably should try them out, and they really are worth it to me. So that's the first item, and probably the best investment I've made in my handbag collection. Next, kind of following along that vein, is this little clay, which I still have loaded up. This is just a little card case by Louis Vuitton, and this is also in the violet color. I've since gotten another one in the white multicolor, and I probably will end up getting more of these in the future. They're just cute little pieces, but also very functional. I'm using both of these down inside of my purse right now. I really like the styles that have this little pocket on the back. So the multicolor has a little pocket. The Vernis with the plate on the front has the little pocket. I really like these. They're super functional, and they're just great little pieces to toss down inside your bag, to use for those extra things like store cards that you maybe don't want to keep in your wallet, to use as a quick grab and go wallet, just endless amounts of uses. They can even be a really cute little key charm to hang off your bag. So I'd say that these have definitely been great investments. I get a lot of use out of them, and again, this does kind of fall in that they're still one of my favorite items, and that does play into it a little bit. Although I don't want to start saying everything's my favorite item, because I don't want this to be a favorites video. Hopefully that makes sense. The next accessory is this little Louboutin mini pochette. Now I really like the regular pochette, and the mini pochette is really kind of a toss-up between those. I think that they're both really versatile and you could use them for endless amounts of things. I think that this one's great with the attached chain, and so I'm going to say for this category, just pochette in general, no particular size, is a great investment piece, and I think one of the better investments I've made as far as my collection goes. Right now I have this loaded up with makeup, mainly lip products, and so it works really great for that. You could also use this as a quick little grab and go thing as well, and it has the chain that could be doubled up and you could put it over your wrist. So I think that this is a great little piece, and the regular pochette is as well. So this is a piece that maybe is not necessarily on my favorites per se, but it is a piece that I think has been one of the better investments for my collection. On to accessories that probably weren't the best investment. Now this is something that I bought probably mid-year this year. I think I've had it for a while, and I have been using a Louboutin cosmetic case pretty much for the past like 4 years or something like that. But I wanted to try this Tiffany one out. This is in the all leather. It's got the silver hardware, and I thought it would just be a great little piece to try out. It's super cute. I got it in the small size, and the price was fairly reasonable. I mean, compared to other cosmetic cases out there from some luxury brands. However, this has not gotten a lot of use around my house, and it doesn't have any attached strap on it to put it over your hand, and as it turns out, I really think that that feature is practical. And so although the design of it would probably fall into one of my favorite types of designs because it has silver hardware, I really like the color, I think it's lovely, this has not been a very practical or useful or worthwhile purchase actually for my collection. However, I hang on to it because I do like how pretty it is and I like how it looks. So this may be something that ends up as a decoration in my girl purse room or whatnot. But as far as actually getting used and being a functional part of my collection, not the best investment. So those are my best and worst of accessories on to handbags, because I'm sure you're curious. So this isn't just Louis Vuitton, it has a number of different brands in it. So I will start with the probably what I consider the best investments for my collection, and a number of them are my favorites. The one notable bag that you'll see is missing in this video that I don't consider a best nor worst investment is the Tivoli GM. Now that is probably one of my favorite handbags. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully other people think like this out there. But even though it's one of my favorite handbags and a handbag that I always see in my collection, it's maybe not one of the best investment pieces, I guess. So although the Tivoli is one of my favorite pieces, it didn't quite make the list for what the concept was. I was trying to think best investments versus worst investments. It's a practical, very pretty handbag, but I think that I have other handbags that are just a bit more practical and worthwhile in my collection. So I will show you those first. To show you the Louis Vuitton first and get it out of the way, this is what I actually consider to be one of the better investment pieces in my collection by Louis Vuitton. This is the Luminesse, and it's in the color ombre. I think that this is just a really great functional bag. Now it can get a little bit heavy because the leather is substantial and the hardware is pretty substantial, but this is just a really pretty functional bag, and I see this being very classic and timeless. Also, the leather is very durable. It stands up a lot over time. So I see this bag 10 years down the line looking pretty much just as good as it does right now. It's got a piece of fuzz on it that's not on the leather. Anyways, you know, I see this as a really great investment piece, and I think that this will definitely stand the test of time. Now, the reason why I didn't necessarily put my Tivoli in this video, although it is one of my favorite bags, investment-wise, it's going to hit a point where it's going to be beyond usable because of the vachetta leather. It's going to have to get replaced at some point, or I'm just going to have to replace the bag entirely and get a new Tivoli, whatever the situation is down the line. Obviously now they're discontinuing the GM sizes, so it's going to be harder to come by, I'm sure, but I just felt like this was the better investment out of my bags because it's going to look the best the longest. So hopefully that makes sense. And it is one of my favorite bags, but probably not in the top 2 or 3 like the Tivoli is, but I think this is a timeless classic bag that was a great investment. And next up, probably not a investment for everyone that would be a must-have on their list, but for me, one great Balenciaga bag is a must-have for my collection. And for me personally, the bag that I think is the best investment is just a classic black regular hardware city, just the classic style that started it all. And this is actually starting to look more gray just from the sun washing it out and everything, but it is actually a black that's washed out. And I think that this is just a classic, just timeless bag. I love the style. It's such a great style and really kind of represents a period of my life to a certain extent. So I think that this is a great piece to have in my collection, a great investment, and I don't think that I'll ever be without just one Balenciaga bag. Plus, just a regular hardware black leather city bag. It's just a really nice timeless style. I mean, if styles changed, you could always take off these tassels, you could tuck in the little ears here to the side, and when it's really all said and done, if you take the tassels, you know, and you replace it with a charm or a zipper pull, it's just a really great basic black bag that doesn't overshadow your outfit and just I don't know, it's lovely. It just has an edgy type of cool to it. So I do really love this style, and I think it was a great investment for my collection. Next up, bag-wise, for better investments in my collection. This one is not as expensive as some other things that I showed, but I think this has definitely been worth its weight in gold, worth every penny. This is the Rebecca Minkoff Morning After Clutch, the regular size. I've talked about this a lot this summer. I used it a ton, and this is just a great little bag that's, again, very functional. This one would probably also fall into one of my favorites categories as well, but it's just great because you can use it as a clutch, you can use it as a shoulder bag, you can use it as a crossbody. The possibilities really are endless with this, and there's so many colors out that, you know, you can really dress up your outfit how you want. Plus, they're very, I don't want to say inexpensive, but they're very reasonably priced as far as designer handbags go. So you could get a few different colors, or if you're younger, you could get one and it not be as inaccessible as some other brands. So just really great leather on these, and I think a great investment piece that spans a number of periods in your life and is really versatile for a lot of different situations. And finally, that brings me to the one bag that I came up with that was not such a great investment piece. Now, this is a very beautiful bag. I love this bag. My husband got me this bag as a gift. It's been one of the few grand gestures he's ever made during our marriage. So I don't see myself ever getting rid of this for those reasons. There's a lot of sentimental value wrapped up in this bag. But as far as practicality and actually being a good investment for my collection, probably not so much on this one. I would say that there's a few other bags I can think of off the top of my head that didn't work for me and weren't great investments, but I've sold all of those. This is really the only one that I still have in my collection that I can think of off the top of my head. And this is my Brea MM in the Rouge Faviste. I obsessed over this bag when it first came out. I had just had my first daughter, and my husband got it for me as a gift. This bag is absolutely gorgeous. I'm planning again on using it as kind of a beautiful decor item. I'll probably rotate it in and out so that it doesn't get too much of a patina on it, but a beautiful decor item for my purse room. But unfortunately, as far as practicality and actually being able to use it, not just being an art installation, Vernis, not the best material to use around toddlers. So for that reason, it's a great occasional date night bag. I use it for Valentine's Day a lot and things like that. But as far as a day-to-day, gets a lot of use during the year bag, it is not one of those bags. So this is one of those bags that is a really lovely piece to build a collection as art. But as far as having a functioning, usable collection, not the best investment in that scenario. But it is a lovely bag nonetheless. I'm planning on, like I said, rotating this in and out of the room to use as art in my purse room whenever I get that up and going. And I don't foresee myself parting with this just because there, you know, is some sentimental value wrapped up behind it, and it is a lovely bag. I mean, once I have children that are older, it may become more practical then. But again, the style just doesn't span different points in your life, I don't think. as well as some other styles that I've shown. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I would love to hear down in the comments what your best collection investments or maybe your not so great collection investments have been, even if you've gotten rid of them or you realized right away that the style wasn't going to work for you and that sort of thing. And pretty quickly I normally realize that the style doesn't work for me, and that's when things kind of get rehomed. I tried a number of vintage Chanel's. Those immediately I knew were not going to work for me. I just haven't found a Chanel handbag that really works out for me. So if I would have hung on to those, I think those would have probably ended up in this video. I am hoping that at some point that I'll be able to have one in my collection just as like a staple piece. But for now, these are what I consider my best investments as far as having a usable, workable collection that spans a number of periods in my lifetime, and then my few lovely pieces that I will now consider more art installation pieces than usable collection pieces. So that is pretty much it for this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions down below, and I'd love to hear what your best and worst were as well. So thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.